Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And I am excited to be hosting the 802nd episode here of Wake Up Legendary, where we are interviewing our clients, our students of our curriculum and education here each and every weekday morning. And this week has been a big week. It's been exciting. Lots of fun and exciting things. Lots of fun and exciting guests. And this morning is no different. We have a law enforcement wife and real estate brokerage owner who is tapping into her passion to serve her growing audience. Let's hear her story and what she has to say and how she found us. Kim, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am so good. Happy to be here.
Great. Where are you calling in from? What state? What location area? Don't have to give us your address, of course.
I live right outside of Boise, Idaho.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. And you are a law enforcement family.
Yes.
And a real estate family.
Yes.
And I'm sure lots of other important things within your family that you all do. What in the heck led you to the online marketing world? How did you find us? What were you looking for? And do you feel like you found it?
The answer to that is yes, very much so. So it's kind of funny. So like you mentioned, my husband was in law enforcement for 27 years and he retired 4 years ago. And I've been in real estate a long time, but he retired from law enforcement and he has a passion for Harley Davidson motorcycles. So he took a sales position working for the Harley dealership here, which ended up being a very high stress, high pressure sales, right? Similar to real estate, but yeah. So we were just getting tired and worn out from the grind like everybody else. And so, very similar to a lot of people's stories, we were on social media and I saw Caroline talking about digital marketing, being an affiliate. So I started looking into it. And it was funny because my husband said, okay, I'm going to do the 15-day challenge. So he started it first. And yeah. And so he started, but then when he on day 4 or 5, he hit a little bit of a speed bump. He kind of lost steam when he had to wait to talk to an advisor. And I said, okay, well, let me jump in. So I also started the course and very quickly, I was hooked. I just became obsessed with it. Finished the 15-day business builder challenge. And then I said, okay, I really think I need to do the blueprints because I see with the value that I got in that 15-day challenge, I couldn't even imagine how amazing the blueprints were going to be. I said, okay, so I'm going to do it. Did it. Jumped in, and I have been absolutely obsessed every day since.
Wow. Lots to unpack there. So that is really cool. Shout out to your husband. What is his name?
John.
John?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out John. Mama Bear came in there and said, let me take over here and let me have a look inside. And here we are. So as you were going through the education, I mean, let's start out with the 15-day challenge. And of course, you made the decision to continue to take this seriously and invest in yourself, right? This is not so much about investing in education. You're not investing in education. You're invested in yourself here. And the cool thing about this education, my friends, is that this applies to really anything that you're doing. Of course, we teach 4 core business models, but these are really skills. I think that Kim, you're recognizing that you need these no matter what you're doing in 2023. Are those some of the light bulbs that started to go off for you as you were just dipping your toe in the 15-day challenge?
For sure. And I very quickly realized how beneficial this would be for me with my real estate business. Learning how to be more active and effective on social media has been unbelievably helpful in both my affiliate business and my real estate business. So the value has been absolutely unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is this your first online venture? I mean, is this the first time that you've done anything side hustle-y, work from home? I mean, is this your first venture with online marketing? Just so we can get an idea of what experience you did have before. Either obviously you're an entrepreneur, but I guess with marketing and or kind of working in some sort of a side hustle outside of a traditional business.
So I've only done kind of an MLM type business model before.
We've all done
Um,
about 5 or 50 of those, so you're in
right.
good
Yeah.
company.
But so I've done that. And then also I've actually owned other businesses as well.
Okay.
So to me, being an entrepreneur is just second nature. Um, I don't have a problem with being self-motivated or just digging in and doing the work, and being, the commitment has always been there in my life. And I always had the confidence to know that whatever I choose to do, hopefully I can find success in. But I've never done this type of digital marketing, affiliate marketing. Marketing was totally brand new, totally new to me. I had zero idea of what it meant coming in.
So help us to understand a little bit more about your kind of why and what is driving you. I mean, um, it would seem from the outside looking in that, your law enforcement income and maybe there was some sort of retirement that was tied to that. You've got a retirement, or excuse me, a real estate business. From the outside looking in, it sounds like you guys are set. Has the last 3 years leading up to 2023 change that for you? Have you realized that maybe you don't have the money that you need or thought that you had to both live the life that you want now and into the future? Is it something else? Help us to understand a little bit about what, why you were even open and maybe looking, or at least open when you saw it in the first place.
So when John retired from law enforcement, he did have a retirement, not an awesome one. Nobody gets into law enforcement because they want to get rich. I mean, he was a public servant, so he did. He did it because
Him for his service, because
yeah.
we a lot of times are thanking our wonderful military members who are going overseas and things like that. But I'll tell you what, the first line of defense in our country is our police officers, it's our paramedics, it's our firefighters. And so I thank your entire family for your service. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, we're actually military and law enforcement, because John's a Marine, and two of our sons are Marines. One of my sons is active duty, deployed in Japan right now. So we're very much veteran and law enforcement family. So, which none of those things pay well. God bless him for the sacrifices that he made over his career. But he was tired. He was tired of working nights, holidays, weekends, every anniversary, every birthday. He sacrificed a lot in those years. And then when he didn't want to continue, they were trying to, prep him to go on and be the chief. And he said, no, I need to get out. I need to start spending time with my family and prioritize my family over a job that doesn't pay very well, by the way. So when he jumped from that into selling motorcycles, it paid okay. But again, he was working 60 hours a week. And then with my background in real estate, at times it's been really good. But last year around April, May, everything went down the tubes because of the interest rates. So business all but stopped. Also, I was working in addition to my brokerage, I was working for a luxury home builder as their broker. That was tough because sales had stopped. So it was, a mad scramble. And it was probably the leading factor for me, though, in my journey, was that job was such a toxic environment that it was killing my health. I was gaining weight. I was drinking a lot. I wasn't sleeping. And I just got to the point where I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I need to find something else. And that's when we found Legendary.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's so vulnerable and honest. And these are the things that, a lot of times are not talked about in the corporate boardroom. It's kind of like, are we hitting our numbers? Are we growing this? Are we achieving that? And it's like, well, we are, but I'm not sleeping well. I'm drinking a lot. My health is going down the tubes. We're hitting our numbers, but I'm gaining weight. I'm not feeling great about myself. Hopefully, the numbers, the feelings and the emotions of the company's bottom line are feeling great, because I'm not feeling great. My
Right.
family is suffering because of it, and I'm suffering because of it, and that it seems to be the soundtrack, the anthem of sort of corporate America for so many people. And it's unfortunate that even the most important jobs in our country, such as police officers, teachers, paramedics, nurses, I watched my father go through 77 days in the hospital, met some of the most amazing human beings that I've ever met in my life.
Mhm.
And many of them are working 12-hour shifts, going home, going to sleep, barely covering their bills. When do they spend time with their families? I don't know. Many go home and don't sleep, right, on their day off. They work a 12-hour shift. Then they got a family. They've got children there they haven't seen in 3 or 4 days. That they just stay up, right?
Yep.
And we're
That
talking
was
about,
John.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And so the system that we have, although it's the best that we've come up with as a society so far, tends to burn people out, right? And then at the end of it all, leave us with not a lot to show for. And so going into this, knowing that that was what is motivating you, when you ran into challenges as you were either going through education or as you were beginning to set things up, what did you tell yourself? What limiting beliefs came up for you, even though you had all this wonderful motivation and all this wonderful why? That doesn't still mean that you're not a human being. Okay.
Right.
So, what limiting beliefs came up for you as you were beginning to go through this? Because we hear this strong, powerful woman who's talking to us now, but help us to further understand some of the other internal battles that you then faced as you were getting ready to put yourself out there and get onto video and do some of these other different and oftentimes scary things that you may not have done before.
So I had a lot of things rolling around in my head when I first started. I got started. I had the confidence to get started, dig in, do all the things I needed to do. But when the immediate success didn't happen, that comparison um, hit me like a ton of bricks. And so, because when I started, I thought, okay, well, I'm every bit as smart as everybody who's having just wild success with this. So I could do this. Well, if they're doing it, why can't I do it? So I had that mindset going in, which gave me the confidence to dive in and do all the things. But then when that immediate success didn't happen,
Mm,
that was a setback for me mentally. And so I had to really do a lot of mindset work to make sure that my why was bigger than whatever issue or problem I'm trying to overcome.
mm,
And then as I kept just putting one foot in front of the other, I realized that, I thought I had to be perfect on camera or I had to look a certain way to compete with everybody else that's out there. And I pretty quickly realized that my audience who relate to me and like me and follow me and trust me relate to the messy Kim that got up and put a baseball hat on and started doing content because that's what I felt like doing. And so I realized pretty quick that they like the messy real me. And that was a process for me to learn that for
mm.
sure.
I've gone through that in different variations myself over my career here. Yes, I called it a career, for goodness sakes. Friends, give yourself a little validation here off the backboard. You like that one?
I love it.
Um, so yes, man, it's like wow, people don't care that my hair is perfect. People don't care that I didn't shave in, I don't know how long. I was supposed to get a haircut yesterday, but that didn't happen. I don't know why. It just didn't happen. Probably because I didn't call. My barber usually comes. Just show. I guess I just expect him to just show up without me calling. But he usually comes to the house, gives me a shave, so I don't have to even mess with it, right? Because I've gotten lazy at this point. Why? Well, because I've realized that I don't need to be clean shaven. I've realized that I can just pick a shirt up off the floor and throw it on. This one's actually covered in fuzz because it did come off the floor. You know, the hat, I mean, no one knows even what else I'm wearing. If I'm wearing anything, it doesn't really matter, right? Because the camera stays on my face. But all the preparation and all the perfection is just not necessary. What is your message to people? What have you learned so far into this process about why people prefer the messy Kim, the messy Dave? Why is it that perfect content, when we try to project a perfect image as if we have no problems or we know exactly what we're doing, why do you think that doesn't work as good as when we kind of show people just kind of who we really are, faults and all?
Yeah, I think, people want to know that you're a real person and have problems, and you're not the Kim Kardashian of your neighborhood. You have issues with your kids, and you have, you name it. Everybody has issues. And when I think, and I just said I struggle with the comparison thing. So when I think when people feel less than, they won't engage. But when they feel like they're your equal, or you're accessible, like you're a real person, then they'll engage and talk to you and relate to you and follow you. So it really has been true for me that know, like, and trust
Yeah.
Has been really, it's all wrapped in the same package of know, like, and trust, because you're a real human with real problems and real mess. And that's what people want to see.
You hit me right between the eyes with that one. When people feel less than, they don't engage. Man, I gotta. I mean, I'm just feeling. You're dropping some nuggets here. I mean, that really is something. I really never thought about it like that. At least in those. That's why I love words. I love communication. I love marketing because we can change. It's kind of like you tell your kids something their whole life, and then the homeless guy, they hear it from some homeless person walking down the street, and they finally hear it. Maybe it was coming from a third party. Maybe he said it a little bit differently, right? But
Mhm.
that's the power of words. And what you just said there was that people, if they feel less than, they don't engage. And that is so interesting. And it's so true. And I wonder who else heard that and really took that in because, you know, if somebody feels like we're talking down to them or somebody feels like we're putting ourselves above them on a pedestal, and how do we do that? Well, it's not particularly that we're saying you're less than, it's that we're projecting that we have no problems. It's
Right.
that we're projecting that we're perfect. It's that we're trying to put on a perfect image. And that is oftentimes can be more powerful. I mean, who really comes out and says, I think I'm better than you, right? It always comes out in the way that we act, but it's even deeper than that nowadays on social media and video creation. It comes out in the way that we try to, for example, we know that people are not all made up and looking perfect as they're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, right? So if we are all made up and perfect as we're talking to them on that platform, that can create that feeling, right?
Mhm.
Because they're simply looking at you in just without it needing to be said, it's being seen. And that doesn't mean that we have to come and purposefully, you know, look like a slob or whatever. I mean, for God's sakes, I at least try to run a comb through my goatee before I go live, but that doesn't always happen. It's more of just, it's more of just kind of, uh, it's more of just, how would I talk to my friends? How would I talk to the people that I feel most comfortable with? I would let my hair down with them. It's also in
Mhm.
the way that we talk to people, the vibe, in the demeanor, in the tone. Would you agree with that? And what comes up for you as I mentioned tone in the way in which we say certain things to people through our videos?
Right. I think, for me, I keep hearing the word authenticity, in my head. And for me, it's been really important in my content to be really authentically me. So not pretending to be something that I'm not having income claims that I don't have. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to be authentic and real, because if somebody wants to call me out and I need to prove what I'm saying, I want to have the ability to do that. So um, you learn clever ways to draw people in, but still be authentic. And that's a learning process. So if you don't have that experience or have that success in that regard early on, that's something for me that it took a while for me to learn that process. But authenticity is like the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. And it's got to feel authenticity is not, do you think that this is real? It's, I'm doing what I feel is true and real for me. And
Mm-hmm.
you either can like it or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Authenticity is not people pleasing.
Right.
It's not who do you all want me to be today? It's, this is kind of who I am. And yeah, I really hope you accept me because I'm a fragile, sensitive person. But if you don't, I'm not going to change just because that's what you want, or I may think that you want something different. Authenticity is a journey of getting comfortable in our own skin, and each one of our journeys look a little bit different, and it takes us all different amounts of time to get there. So you hit on a very important part. This is a very common question that people ask, no matter what niche you're working in, no matter what products you're promoting. How do I get out there and start creating videos when I don't have experience? Or many people get started in the online business or wealth niche, and they're not billionaires, they're not millionaires. They may be just starting out this journey of learning these skills, and thinking about their future in a different way, and thinking about money in a different way, and thinking about their relationship with money in a different way. And they're really excited about that. We get really excited about that when we realize we've had a lifetime of maybe limiting beliefs around money, and that there is the ceiling that I feel on top of me is really actually just an imaginary ceiling that society has kind of created. And you know so how you know we don't particularly have to go back and say how did you, because maybe it sounds like you found your way in your message, in your voice, as you went. But what advice do you have for somebody, if you could give them what you know now? How would you start out creating content in a niche? Let's just say you're working in the wealth niche, it appears. What do those first few videos look like? How do I come up with content? How do I talk about things even though I'm not Mr. Millionaire?
So when I started, I don't remember where I heard it now, but someone said just study what the successful people are doing. Don't copy them, but kind of emulate them and put your own spin on it. I mean, we're not recreating the wheel here. We know what works. So I spent an insane amount of time studying what other creators are doing, what's working for them. And then I would try to recreate that in my own way. And the good and bad thing about social media is it gives you instant feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So to take that feedback and not get frustrated or say, oh, this just doesn't work for me, take that and learn from it and keep going day after day. And pretty soon patterns will emerge of, this is what my audience wants to see from me. They don't like it. So you start to kind of just, one video at a time, learn from each video and just keep going.
Yeah, that's a great point, that nobody's going to be able to give anyone this is for sure going to be the best type of content for you to post.
Mhm.
So there's an element of, and I brought this up a couple of times this week, it came up, and it's really a great reminder. I mean, this should be everybody's number one tagline, and everybody's number one marketing motto should be, ready for it, friends? Everything is a test. Everything is a test. Not, now here's the alternative that some of us say. I am not made out for this. I will never make it. That bombed. I can't do this, right? I'm not technically savvy. I'm not good on video, right? When we post one or two videos and they quote unquote flop. Um, Everything is a test. And so what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, is that, there's a few different types of videos really that we can post on social media. There's a longer form video, kind of like what we're doing now, which might go either on live and you can go live on any platform. You can also post them on YouTube. And then there's short form videos, which are really hot, and the majority of people are doing, especially if they're new. They're a little easier to do. And for example, if you're working in the wealth niche, well, if we go back to our edutainment framework, you're either entertaining, educating, or doing a combination of both. And hopefully you're doing a combination of both in every video, right? Because in some way, shape, or form, even if you're pointing, dancing, singing, lip singing, whatever, you're educating and bringing to somebody's awareness something that is possible that they may not have known about before, right? The other option is educating people about different opportunities that are out there. If you're working in the wealth niche, hey, maybe you didn't know that you could go over here and learn Canva, and with that simple free tool, you can begin marketing design services to people. You can begin marketing, building flyers and doing different design. You can learn Chat GPT, and you can begin offering copywriting services to people. You can begin offering ebook writing services to people. Not to mention, for example, if you learn a couple of other low to no cost tools, like how to use a funnel builder and an autoresponder, you could actually launch a business, for example, called affiliate marketing, where you sell other people's products. And in the process of kind of creating educational videos, you build an email list by giving something free away in exchange for their email. And after they opt in, you point them in the direction of something that may be helpful to them. And if they follow through and purchase, you get a commission on that. Follow for more, right?
Mhm.
It's like that is helping to reveal to people opportunities, whether it be strategies, methods, frameworks, tactics that they didn't know about, is really it's the foundation of all content creation, and it works in any niche, right? I could have done the same thing. Hey, I bet you didn't know that pit bulls are actually great dogs. Here's the number one training tip that I've learned over 5 years of owning a pit bull.
Yeah.
Right? And then I go into it. So how have you built your confidence to the point, even as somebody who's relatively new, to feel the confidence to be able, and the competence to be able to actually educate people on things? How have you built that confidence to say, I know enough to be able to teach somebody something?
Well, it all comes back to, what are you passionate about? What is your niche going to be? So while the framework around your business is built around your niche and what you're passionate about, because I'm also in the real estate niche too. So I do make money online and real estate. You want to pick something that you are passionate, that you know about, that you can talk for hours and hours about, because then you put out that you are an authority and you know what you're talking about. And then along the same lines, if you're new to affiliate marketing, become a student. Become a student. Don't just start creating content, throw it out there and hope that it's going to land. You need to really study this and respect it as a legitimate business model, and don't expect to have overnight success. It's going to take work. It's not a get rich quick, just like everybody says. It's true. It takes a lot of dedication, showing up, doing the work, becoming a student. And then also, one thing that I've really learned in my journey is to learn how to pivot. So obviously my target audience was going to be first responders and military veterans. Well, I learned pretty quick, anytime that I made a video about anything law enforcement, it would get reported and taken down. I've had 3 TikTok accounts taken down because my videos about law enforcement they triggered people, and people were in the comments really angry, just unreasonable. So I've learned to lean less into the law enforcement first responder part, and talk more retirees and things. So that was a lesson for me. I had to learn to pivot when the other I couldn't make it work because it was too tough.
And I commend you for that. That's difficult. I mean, obviously, there's been some controversy and friction around law enforcement over the past couple of years. A lot of people are, upset about certain events that have happened, and knowing that the large majority, the absolute huge large majority of our law enforcement are great, wonderful people, and being a law enforcement family yourself, that has to be emotionally difficult to accept where we are right now. And I'm not taking sides. I'm just pointing out facts, right? If you're not living under you have to be living under a rock right now to be able to have missed what's going on in our society. Boy, that pivot is really, I can tell that was a business decision for you. You had to make a business decision. You had to set emotions aside. You had to set, in a sense, passions and convictions aside to make a business decision. And that doesn't mean that you're going to go against your morals and values and suddenly not believe in the things that you believe in. But I think that's a great lesson for us all, that, our business is not going to be perfectly exactly what we want it to be all the time, right? We live in a society with other people, and becoming persuasive, influential, and earning that know, like, and trust oftentimes means finding some middle ground with your audience and who you're serving, and saying, okay, I see that this is, for some people, not working out, and it's not benefiting me if I can't get this message out. So I'm going to pivot, and maybe I'll pack that message a little bit deeper back into my business in follow-up emails, or as my audience gets to know me a little bit more. It doesn't particularly mean that I have to abandon who I am and what my beliefs are. It just means that I may not want to lead with that message. I may want to lead with a message that's a little bit more universally accepted. And that's a very intelligent business decision. That's really big, Kim. I mean, thank you for sharing that, because I think so often we really have an intention of going out there with a certain message, doing a certain thing, and then when it is not universally accepted by everyone, it's kind of like, oh my, well, either we turn that inward and begin to talk down to ourselves and say, I'm never going to be successful at this, or we latch on to a victim stance, right? And we think, dang, the world's out to get me. And that's just not true, right? The most successful entrepreneurs are finding middle ground and figuring out ways to communicate with people in a way that brings everybody together. And then I can further let them get to know me as they stick around, and receive more emails from me and receive more content from me. Wow. What else would you add to that? Anything else that is important in terms of content creation, reaching your audience, creating content that is true and authentic to you, but is not going to get accounts banned? I mean, so many people are dealing with this right now. What else have you learned about social media platforms? Which one do you prefer? What do you think the differences in the main ones that you're using are?
So TikTok, I probably have gotten the most success out of so far. But I'm really trying to focus on the big three: TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm focusing less on TikTok these days and really spending time growing my Facebook and my Instagram communities. I've started a private Facebook group, mastermind group, that I market through my email campaigns. So I'm really kind of spending more time on all three instead of just TikTok, because I learned that TikTok gets banned for no reason at all, and you have to start over. So I learned that pretty quick, and I heard Caroline say that once, and I thought, okay, that's probably really good advice. So I think, just for me, I really don't let the trolls, because there's going to be haters. No matter if you're perfect or not, no matter what you put out there, someone is not going to like it. And that's okay. You're not for everybody. You're not trying to be for everybody. You're trying to be for your segment, your audience that's going to relate to you. Those are going to be your buyers, not the masses. So it's okay that some people may not like your content, and that's going to be expected, but don't let the trolls get in your head.
Yeah, there's going to be enough people out there that are going to have something to say. What we often find is those people who are making those negative and hateful comments. We don't know who they are in real life, but when we look at, for example, their social media profile, it is oftentimes loser lane, right? I mean, there is nothing there. There's nobody home. It is somebody who is hiding in the shadows. And so we need to remember that if somebody is making a hateful comment or a critical or shaming comment, that person is having a bad day and maybe even having a bad life, and they are feeling pretty badly about themselves to be able to spend time making a comment on something that we're doing. Imagine that, to stop, to scroll, to type it out, I mean, you can't even imagine the pain and misery somebody has to be in to do that. Still, it's difficult not to internalize and personalize those, but it's a great reminder that we need to thicken up our skin. We need to just remember that it takes a real hurt soul to stop their scroll and make a hateful comment. If you don't have haters, my friends, you ain't doing enough.
That's
Okay.
right.
You ain't doing enough. Okay. If everybody likes your content, or you don't have people who are kind of calling you out and hating on you, my friends, you need to have one goal and one goal only, and that is to get more haters. I actually had this as a goal a few years ago, and wow, I never knew it was going to turn into what it did. Not that I'm the most hated man on the internet, but truly, when the more successful you get, the bigger the bullseye on your back. I mean, that's not a saying that I made up. What have you learned about Kim that you either did not know about yourself, or that you may had forgotten about yourself? What is this process? What is this journey so far revealed and reminded about who you are?
It has changed my priorities, for sure. I would say my priorities for most of my adult life have been getting the good job, getting the promotion, getting the recognition, the pay, and being somebody important, right? I think the timing of my life, this opportunity, and what it has taught me all combined has showed me that I do not care about getting the good job, the recognition, being the VP, doing all those things mean absolutely nothing. I've done them all and they're empty. What is important to me at this time in my life is spending more time with my family, my husband, not working until noon on the day of my funeral. I want to be with my family doing the things that I love and be comfortable. I don't need to be a gazillionaire. I just want to be comfortable, but I want to enjoy what I'm doing and I want to do it with my family. And I was wasting so much time trading it for paychecks and empty feelings that didn't ever last and didn't really ever mean anything. So I think that's been the biggest aha for me, is that the stuff that I have worked for my entire life mean absolutely nothing to me now. And I'm good with it. Like, I really, really love that.
Yeah, that is so powerful. That is such a God, priorities. Wow, what a word for Friday. What a word. Priorities. I mean, we're moving into the weekend. We're moving into a new month. We're getting ready to move into the holiday season. Yet another holiday season, yet another new year, right? I mean, New Year's resolutions, all the things, right, that we all do and that society tries to get us excited about, making your New Year's resolutions as if and of course, right after we've just got out of the holiday season and we've spent all time with family, if we're lucky enough to have family to spend time with. And then it's like, it's just really a big emotional roller coaster, as you said, there is no pot at the end of the rainbow. This is about lifestyle design. This is about, what do I want every day to look like, not just working for the holiday season, working for 2 weeks out of the year that are going to fly by. And if I've already got those people pleasing elements of my personality and the low self-esteem and the exhaustion and burnout, then I'm probably not going to be my best self during that season anyways. So we've got a lot of time right now. If you're listening to this and you're listening to Kim's advice, those of you who are on and who are going to listen to the replay, man, what an amazing time right now, September 1st, 2023, to make a as you said earlier, a pivot away from people pleasing and building up, other people's futures and dreams in some, job that is a fantasy ladder to the top, right? It's like we're all climbing that fantasy ladder to get to that next, as you called it, VP role, right? When, that some of these jobs that we think are secure are some of the most insecure opportunities that exist. And, a lot of times we do things, we're forced in society because of I think it's predatory, but the way that health insurance and so forth works, we got to take jobs to have health insurance and stuff like that. And, it's time to think about these things from a different perspective. You can pay for health insurance, people. You do not have to get it through an employer. You can actually get it as a private party. And yes, it's going to cost. Yes, but you know what? The secret to that is making more money, right? Just make more money, and then we can afford those things. That's exactly what I've done for the past 12 or 13 years, is pay for these things out of my own pocket. And the solution is not to save more money, it's to make more money. That's the way of the entrepreneur, right? Coupon cutting is not going to make you comfortable. It's about making more money. And so what advice, as we bring this in for a landing, this has been an incredibly powerful, wonderful, inspirational conversation this morning. What advice would you give to Kim that now that maybe you needed to hear when you first got started, and we could all benefit from that advice as well?
It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. Don't expect to have the overnight success. If you do happen to have a video that pops off and you get thousands of people in your funnel, that's amazing. More than likely, that's not going to happen. And it's one day at a time. and just learn something that's going to move the needle forward every single day. Just show up every day and be committed to the process. And learn, really, I think for me too, the other thing is really engaging in the legendary community. The community and the help has been unbelievable. I mean, really, really amazing. I can throw something out in the Facebook group as a question and get 20 different answers. So that's been like, you're not in this alone. There's so much help.
Yeah. And our Blueprints members have 2 coaching calls per day, not per week, not per month. I see gurus and different people advertising out there that, people are paying, $99 a month, $199 a month. I saw one the other day for upwards of $300 a month. And this guy was offering 1 coaching call per month. And I'm thinking, where is the value, right? It's like, this is a one-time payment to enroll into our flagship Blueprints curriculum, and that comes with not only a decade in a day workshop that you can attend as many times as you want every other Friday, where we're showing you how to enter a new niche and build all the assets and set everything up. Again, promoting products in a niche that you never even thought was possible, as well as 2 daily, Monday through Friday, daily coaching calls that you can bring questions to, and you can get live, instant, immediate feedback, not to mention the curriculum itself. And you're right, the Facebook groups. I think, with Wake Up Legendary, with the Facebook groups, with the ability to be able to see other people who are implementing these strategies, it's really a kind of full, it's all the pieces, right? You're not just getting the how-to, you're also seeing how it's being implemented by so many people. And that is the power of community. I appreciate you bringing that up as we bring this in for a landing. Thank you to you and John and your sons, of course, one more time for your service to our communities and country. Thank you for your story. Thank you for jumping in there, as John was going through things and saying, hey, let me take a look as well at this, and then getting fired up. And now being on today, you said you were nervous before the show. I just kind of asked you how you were doing. And, I said, well, that means you care. And you said, dang right. And I can tell that, your heart is in this, your head is in this, you care deeply about what you're doing, but you're also navigating this with common sense, and humility. And that also is very impressive and inspirational. So come back, see me, keep me posted on your journey, Kim. Stay legendary, my friend. And thanks for a great show.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, my friends, there you have it. You can find Kim on Instagram as well as TikTok, but let's look at her Instagram first. It's at create_wealth_online Kim. Okay. Create_wealth_online Kim. You can find her over on Instagram at that handle. She's also over on TikTok currently right now at create_wealth_online. So create wealth online, and there's an underscore between the words. Okay. Not at the end, not at the beginning, just between the words. Create_wealth_online. And from there, you could probably get into her the rest of her world there online. She mentioned Facebook group, email list, of course, all the things. My friends, it's Friday. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to take ridiculous action and have a defining moment in your business. What does that mean? It means that you make a decision. You commit to something. You say enough is enough. You say I'm ready to start, or you say I'm ready to start over. Right? This process is a never-ending cycle of starting and starting over, getting frustrated. I don't know if you've ever seen that meme where it's like the life of an entrepreneur. It's like, kind of going in circles and chasing your tail a little bit and feeling like you're about to have a breakdown right before your breakthrough. And that's why I always say, don't quit before the miracle happens. All right, my friends, get into the curriculum. Okay. Just like Kim said, learn what it is that you're doing here. Don't just buy and then be ready to go to the moon and make $1 million. It doesn't work like that. Invest invest time, right? If you want to be successful at something, invest. Yes, invest finances. Do them here, do them somewhere else. Just learn the damn skills. Invest your time, though. Invest your time so you can actually know what it is that you're doing. And then go out there and show yourself and the world what you're made of. Okay. I look forward to hearing from all of you what you've learned about yourself in this journey. This will introduce you to you, right? This process will introduce you to, who you are. It will show your weaknesses. It will show your liabilities, but it will also reveal your strengths. So don't only focus on the pessimistic glass half empty. Pay attention to how resilient you are. Pay attention to how gritty you are. Pay attention to how much you can persevere, how much you can handle. You can do a lot more than you think. Be legendary, my friends. We'll see you back here on Monday for another episode. As always, get out of here. Have a great weekend. Stay legendary. Peace.